International News Bulletin. Central America. The Caribbean facing historic heavy rainfall, widespread flooding and landslides. Ladies and gentlemen, the region of Central America and the Caribbean Sea is facing an extremely complex and dangerous weather situation as a period of heavy and prolonged rainfall is covering almost the entire area. From Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, to Honduras, Belize, and Guatemala, the rain has been increasing rapidly in recent hours, and in the next 2 to 3 days, rainfall could reach record levels, causing flash floods, landslides, and serious widespread inundation. According to regional meteorological agencies, this is likely to be the most severe rainfall event since the beginning of 2025, and what is worrying is that it is not caused by a tropical storm or cyclone, but by the complex interaction between a cold air mass from the north and the tropical moisture belt over the Caribbean Sea. Satellite images show a massive thunderstorm cloud band stretching from the Pacific coast of Colombia across the southern Caribbean region, extending all the way to Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. This dense cloud band is where the enormous amount of moisture rising from the sea surface is being trapped, producing continuous heavy rainfall. The rainfall core is currently concentrated over Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama, of which Belize and Honduras are forecast to experience the heaviest rain. In Belize, especially in the eastern and southern areas such as Belize City, Dangriga, and Punta Gorda, rainfall in the next 3 days could reach 100 to 150 mm, with some places exceeding 200 mm. In Honduras, the northern coastal and inland mountainous regions are expected to receive 200 to 250 millimeters of rain, with local amounts exceeding 300 millimeters, enough to cause serious flash floods and landslides. Guatemala is no exception, with heavy rain forecast in the eastern and midland regions, where steep terrain and strong flow create a very high risk of flash floods. Meanwhile, in Nicaragua, rainfall is concentrated in the east, near the Caribbean coast, while the western inland area will see lower amounts. Costa Rica and Panama, especially the eastern coasts along the Caribbean, are forecast to exceed 200 millimeters of total rainfall over the next 48 to 72 hours. The main cause of this heavy rainfall does not originate from any tropical cyclone, but from the rare combination of two large-scale weather systems. A cold front is moving southward from the north, originating in Canada, crossing the United States and extending into the Atlantic through Bermuda, the Bahamas, Cuba, and deep into Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. When this cold, dry air mass encounters the warm, humid air rising from the Caribbean, it creates a strong wind convergence zone, compressing the moisture and generating long, persistent bands of thunderstorms that keep regenerating. This process has produced prolonged, intense rainfall, saturating the soil quickly and raising the risk of landslides and flash floods in mountainous areas. Another factor that makes the situation dangerous is the wind direction change around Honduras and Belize. As the cold air mass pushes southward, winds turn to the north and northeast, while from the south, moist Caribbean air continues to flow upward. The collision of these two opposing air streams has trapped convective clouds, preventing them from moving away, leading to concentrated and prolonged rainfall in the same locations. Global forecasting models such as GFS, ECMWF, and ICON all indicate that this convergent zone will persist at least until November 13th or 14th before gradually weakening. This means that for the next 3 to 4 days, Central American countries will continue to experience heavy rainfall, and many areas could become isolated as roads are flooded and landslides block transportation. In detail, on November 10th and 11th, heavy to very heavy rain will concentrate in Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. Many mountainous provinces of Honduras, such as Atlánida, Lloro, Colón, and Olancho, could record rainfall over 200 mm. By November 12th, the rain area will shift northwestward, strongly affecting Guatemala and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. On November 13th and 14th, rain will remain moderate to heavy along the Caribbean coasts of Panama and Costa Rica, but will gradually weaken westward. Offshore, strong winds and high waves from 2 to 3 meters are causing rough seas, especially around the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. Maritime agencies have advised small vessels to remain in port, and coastal fishermen should move boats to safe harbors. In Jamaica, southwestern regions such as Negril and Savannah Lamar may experience thunderstorms with 25 to 50 millimeters of rainfall, while central and northern regions will be less affected. The Cayman Islands may also see several short but intense downpours due to converging winds ahead of the front. Meanwhile, the same weather system generating this rain event is also causing major changes across North America and Canada. After crossing Central America, the cold air mass continues to expand eastward, affecting Florida and the southeastern United States, bringing drier and cooler conditions. Temperatures in cities like Jacksonville, Atlanta, and Birmingham may drop below 10 degrees in the morning. Further north, in the New England region and the Atlantic provinces of Canada, strong winds with gusts reaching 70 to 110 km/h are being recorded. Along with that come rain and wet snow, particularly in Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island, where high seas and rough conditions are expected in the next 2 days. In the Great Lakes region of Canada, Ontario and Quebec have received their first snow of the season, with accumulations from 10 to 25 centimeters, locally up to 30 centimeters. Cities such as Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal this morning reported paralyzed traffic due to heavy snow and icy roads. This is the earliest snowfall in more than half a century in southern Ontario, marking the start of a harsh winter. On the other side of the continent, in the western Canadian mountains, the Chinook wind effect has created a completely opposite situation. Temperatures in Alberta, Calgary, and Medicine Hat reach 16 to 18 degrees AC, with dry conditions and strong winds, while central provinces remained freezing below 0 degrees CC. Meteorologists note that this is a clear example of the extreme contrast that can exist within a single atmospheric system. One side enduring floods, the other side covered in snow and cold winds. Returning to the Caribbean region, outside the Central American rain core, the eastern island nations such as Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia, Barbados, and Grenada will only have scattered showers with totals below 50 millimeters. Meanwhile, Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic will begin to see increasing rain from November 12th as the front approaches. Temperatures in northern Cuba and the Bahamas are dropping sharply from 27 degrees Celsius to around 21 degrees Celsius, producing a rare chill in this tropical area. In the southern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Aruba, and Curacao will have minimal rain, just a few short showers totaling under 30 millimeters. In South America, northern parts of Colombia and Venezuela are also indirectly affected by this rain belt. Some areas in Venezuela's Zulia state and along Colombia's Caribbean coast are seeing 60 to 80 millimeters of rain over 2 days, which could cause localized flooding. In Central America, major rivers such as the Ulua, Honduras, Camelicon, Guatemala, and San Juan, Nicaragua, are forecast to exceed alert levels within 48 hours. Dozens of riverside communities have been advised to prepare for evacuation from low-lying areas. In response, disaster management agencies in Honduras and Belize have issued red alerts for extreme rainfall, urging residents in mountainous and riverside areas to limit travel, prepare safe shelters, and stock up on food, water, and essential supplies for at least 3 days. The Nicaraguan government has deployed rescue teams to the eastern coastal areas to inspect vital transportation routes, while Panama has advised residents in Talamanca and Bocas del Toro not to cross streams or mountain passes during heavy rain. International humanitarian organizations such as the Red Cross have already begun coordinating readiness for potential widespread flooding. In this context, meteorologists emphasize that we do not need a named storm to cause a disaster. Prolonged heavy rain over steep mountainous terrain, such as in Central America, is enough to cause devastating losses. In 2020, this region witnessed twin hurricanes Eta and Iota that claimed over 2,000 lives and caused billions of dollars in damage. Although there is no named storm this time, the risk of similar destruction remains very high if the rainfall continues at the current intensity. A Across the North Atlantic, this same cold front is also responsible for dramatic weather shifts in the United States. From Texas and Louisiana to Georgia, cold air is spreading southward, with nighttime temperatures dropping to 5 to 10 degrees. Florida, usually warm and humid, will also experience its first cold spell of the winter, with minimum temperatures around 13 degrees. Further north, states such as Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire are facing strong gusty winds up to 80 km/h and wet snow. Offshore, the seas from New England to Bermuda are rough, with waves of 4 to 6 meters posing dangers for fishing vessels. Overall, the entire weather system from North America to the Caribbean is interconnected in a large-scale pattern. Cold in the north, humid in the south, and their meeting point is precisely what has produced this historic flood event across Central America. Forecasts for the coming days indicate that as the cold front continues moving out into the Atlantic, conditions in the region will gradually become drier, but river levels may continue to rise due to upstream runoff. Ladies and gentlemen, in the coming hours, rainfall and flooding in Honduras, Belize, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica will remain complicated and severe. We urge residents to closely monitor official weather updates, not to underestimate signs of landslides, ground cracks, or rapidly rising river levels. Keep in contact with local authorities, prepare evacuation plans, especially for households living at the foot of hills, near streams, and in low-lying areas. Boats should remain anchored safely and avoid going out to sea during this period of rough conditions. For other Caribbean countries, although rainfall is lighter, they should remain alert for thunderstorms, gusty winds, and high waves over the next few days. This weather event once again demonstrates the power and complex interconnection of global atmospheric systems. A cold air mass from Canada can produce snow in Toronto, strong winds in Newfoundland, and at the same time cause flooding in Honduras or Belize, thousands of kilometers away. The weather of our planet is a unified system, where every change in one region can trigger consequences elsewhere. We wish you safety and peace in all weather conditions. We will continue to monitor and update the latest developments on flooding in Central America, as well as the cold air mass affecting North America and the Caribbean. If you find this bulletin helpful, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest weather updates every day. Thank you for watching, and see you again in the next International Weather Bulletin.